the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
A $900 billion economic relief bill is in the hands of the Senate at this hour. Good evening to you at 11 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins. A deal would deliver much needed funding to businesses and individual Americans who are struggling to stay afloat as the pandemic fallout continues. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze explains how the proposal could help you.
Up against the clock, the House voting to approve a massive spending bill that will avert a government shutdown at midnight and provide $900 billion in much-needed economic relief. The bill now goes to the Senate, and if it passes, is expected to be signed into law by President Trump. The agreement includes a one-time payment of $600 for individuals making up to $75,000 per year. A family of four could receive $2,400. It adds $300 in weekly federal unemployment benefits and provides nearly $300 billion in aid to small businesses, plus more than $8 billion for distributing the vaccine. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin telling CNBC those stimulus checks could show up in Americans' bank accounts before the new year.
The good news is this is a very, very fast way of getting money into the economy. And again, let me emphasize that people are going to see this money the beginning of next week.
For single mom Renee DiCarlo, who was forced to close her business, help can't come soon enough.
Every dollar matters to me. The more they give me, the more ability I'll have to get my life back in order, a little bit at a time, because right now there isn't enough to support myself or my kids.
As coronavirus cases continue to climb, forcing more business closures and layoffs, some economists fear the help could be too little, too late. Democrats, who had initially demanded trillions more in aid, are calling the deal a down payment.
The bill today is a good bill. Today is a good day, but it is certainly not the end of the story.
President-elect Joe Biden applauded the deal, but said Congress's work is far from over. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
The Centers for Disease Control is recommending who should get the COVID-19 vaccine after frontline healthcare workers and those in nursing homes. The CDC says next to get vaccinated will be people over 75 and frontline essential workers. So that includes police, firefighters, teachers, grocery store and postal workers. After that, people 16 to 64 with high-risk medical conditions and essential workers in industries like food service, construction and public safety. States get the final say on who gets the vaccine. Today, President-elect Joe Biden rolled up his sleeve to take the first dose of the vaccine.
What I want to say is we owe these folks an awful lot. The scientists and the people who put this together, the frontline workers, the people who were the ones who actually did the clinical work. It's just amazing. I'm doing this to demonstrate that people should be prepared when it's available to take the vaccine. There's nothing to worry about.
So far, nearly 3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine have been distributed. Around 500,000 have been administered, and nearly 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine are now being sent across the country. A new COVID mutation seen in the United Kingdom is raising alarms. Scientists believe the variant could spread up to 70% faster than the current strain. But an expert at Butler University tells WRTV this new evidence is not unusual and there is no reason to panic.
There's a lot of unknown, which is not uncommon because we're dealing with a virus. This is actually part of the process. It's kind of a seesaw or sort of an arms race kind of thing where, while we humans are working to come up with a solution, the virus is doing its own thing. And then so we kind of tend to, it's like this biological chess game, so to speak.
Obanaya Omanka says the vaccine should still be effective against this new COVID strain. COVID-19 is now blamed for 7,101 deaths in Indiana. 2,967 patients are hospitalized with the virus. That's according to the latest update from the State Department of Health. Hospitalizations have declined about 15% since peaking in late November, but the current averages are still nearly 4 times higher than in September. A reminder here, anyone who lives or works in Indiana can still get tested for COVID for free. For more information, go to coronavirus.in.gov. Well, now to the forecast here on this Monday. Victory Field is in the holiday spirit, as you see there. Kevin, it's not baseball weather, but we're starting winter with highs in the 40s.
We'll be rounding third and heading for home. We'll even get to the 50s as we get to Wednesday, Mark. Well, we had everybody psyched up to see Jupiter and Saturn this evening. A lot of you did see it. If you didn't, because of cloud cover, Larry Lawrence has got us covered right in the center of your screen. Saturn and Jupiter so close together. You'll have another opportunity tomorrow evening around 6 o'clock, but they will not be as close, but it'll still look good. Muncie's at 42. 44 in Shelbyville. Want to show you the cloud cover that will be persistent, especially north and east of a Lafayette to Indianapolis and Greensburg line, that into the morning hours. Then we'll start working on some sunshine as we go through the day. 38 at noon. The wind is cold at first out of the northwest, but watch it switch around and start coming out of the south. That's the key toward boosting those temperatures. First into the 40s, Wednesday into the 50s, and then it all happens. We'll talk about what it happens Wednesday night into Thursday and for your Christmas Day coming up.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, Kevin. Sadly, in Indianapolis, the year 2020 will be remembered for record-breaking violence. Tonight, WRTV reporter Cameron Riddle shows how the city is using funding to help keep violence from soaring in the year 2021.
With more than 230 homicides in the year 2020, the city of Indianapolis is putting $2.2 million behind dozens of projects designed to combat crime in Marion County. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Indianapolis is on the receiving end of $40,000 to fund its evening reporting center program, which is an alternative to juvenile detention.
We're working with juveniles, young folks who've gotten caught up in the system, ages 12 to 18, and our goal is to help them get removed from that and help them get back on the right path, if you will.
The Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis is just one of 25 organizations receiving 26 grants from the Central Indiana Community Foundation. Maggie Lewis is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis. She says the evening reporting program is year-round and serves about 100 boys and girls throughout the year. It's a tactic to keep at-risk youth off the streets and out of trouble after school.
So every evening they're checking in with a team member from the Boys and Girls Club, let them know what's going on. And again, we literally go to their houses and pick them up and bring them to one of the clubs and work with them throughout the evening.
At a time where violence and trouble seems to be finding teens, giving those who have already been in trouble a safe and caring environment is part of the Boys and Girls Club's mission to tackle violence in Indianapolis.
When a child really has a place to go with adult supervision, it prevents them from getting themselves in trouble. It prevents them from having run-ins with law enforcement.
Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
The Central Indiana Community Foundation administers the grant using criteria and money allocated by the City County Council. Metro Police hope newly released surveillance pictures help lead to information in a deadly hit-and-run investigation. IMPD says these photos are of a person of interest in the case and their car. Detectives say a driver hit and killed a man over the weekend at Washington Street and Biltmore Avenue on the west side. The car is believed to be a Dodge Charger, which may now have heavy front-end damage. If you have any information, call Metro Police at 317-327-6549, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. An organization that advocates for the most vulnerable people in our community is making sure lives lost in 2020 are not forgotten.
Angelica Perez, Christopher Quick, Gregory Cole Reagan.
Those are just 3 of the 87 names read today at a virtual ceremony honoring people experiencing homelessness who died in Marion County this year. That's nearly double the number of people who died last year. The Coalition for Homelessness Intervention and Prevention, also known as CHIP, organized the memorial. The executive director says it's important to keep the memories of those who died alive and to keep fighting for better solutions.
Each individual we are here to remember today was someone who was loved and who leaves behind family, friends, advocates, and peers. It is now incumbent upon those of us, who knew them, to carry their memory forward and to reaffirm that their homelessness is not who they were or what defined them.
CHIP is asking for donations to winter relief efforts for local shelters and housing agencies. Blankets, coats, hats, gloves, warm socks, hand warmers, and single-serving non-perishable food and drinks are needed. Donations can be made directly to Street Reach Indy at chipindy.org.
The system got to work for you, man. If they don't work for you, you got nothing, dude.
Next, how health care could be key in helping people rebound after serving their debt to society. And a little later, from COVID to Karens, how an independent toy maker is turning some of the top topics of 2020 into playful, collectible items. The Rebound Indiana is working to highlight programs that are helping Hoosiers during the pandemic. And tonight, we are focusing on a vulnerable population setting foot into this different kind of world in challenging time. A fairly recent program at the Indiana Department of Correction called Transitional Healthcare is focusing on the health and well-being of people leaving the prison system. The program has been in place for about a year. It focuses on ensuring inmates have physical and mental health care, insurance, identification, scheduled doctor's appointments. The goal of Transitional Health is to set up exiting inmates for success and remove barriers. And hopefully that keeps ex-offenders from ending up back behind bars.
The first thing I did when I came to this job was ask for data. So recidivism data broken down by very specific points. And what we noticed was certain mental health codes or diagnoses were returning to us in far greater numbers than others. So we really started to look at what can we do pre-release to make that transition smoother.
Though controversial, the program even provides exiting inmates with naloxone or Narcan, a drug which reverses the effects of an opioid overdose, again to focus on the health of the person. Since the program is so relatively new, it is too early to compile quantitative numbers to support whether it's working or not. To learn more about the program, we have provided a link to the IDOC Transitional Healthcare Program in this story on WRTV.com. Like many events this year, the pandemic is changing but not stopping an annual holiday tradition. Usually around this time, Colts players, cheerleaders, and Blue go from room to room at Riley Hospital for Children, caroling for patients. This was the scene last year. That was not possible this year, but the Colts still found a way to bring Christmas cheer to Riley kids. Players used a robot to share holiday greetings and special gifts from the team. They also put together this video.
In 2020, the horseshoe gave to me 1 backup flipping,
2 game clinching turnovers.
Intercepted by the Colts, Julian Blackmon. In 2020, the horseshoe gave to me 9,000 yards receiving.
That video was broadcast in every patient's room. You can sure tell where the talents are, right? Here's Kevin.
I like that, though, 2 Houston turnovers.
You like that? And then the cheers in the background there. Kevin's here with a look at it, what the first day of winter's looking like. And what an amazing sight in the sky tonight, Kevin.
And we'll have a lot of people missed it because of the cloud cover. I know there's some frustration there. Jupiter and Saturn at their closest in like 800 years to each other. They'll be close to each other, just not as close tomorrow evening. Mark is mentioning the warm-up, 40s tomorrow. Then Wednesday temperatures will peak in the 50s. How about that? And then you see Santa's ride into town on Friday will be a cold one as temperatures will sit in the lower 20s for afternoon high temperatures. That's after starting close to the single digits. So that's quite a change from Wednesday afternoon to Friday afternoon. Temperatures will be dropping behind a cold front as we get to Wednesday night into Thursday. Out ahead of the cold front, the mild air. We'll also have then the strong wind and the rain. Rainfall potential with this could be up to 1/4 inch. Now, I take this to around midnight and stop it there. There'll be more moisture after that, but I think changing forms from rain to some snow. And that bears out here on this computer model. You can see at 11 o'clock Wednesday night, the blues of some snow and a rain-snow mix in pink. Then, as colder air continues to catch the moisture, we're changing it all over to some light snow. Could be some minor accumulations into Thursday morning. Then, Friday dry, wind chill temperatures a little below 0 to start the day. We'll be at 17 at noon and only in the lower 20s. with a mixture of clouds and sunshine on Christmas afternoon. Back to tomorrow. We got to get there first. Temperature by noon tomorrow, right at 40 degrees, upper 30s. We'll land at about 42 or 43 with more consistent sunshine. Temperatures from north to south, about the same, a little more to the south and west, foreshadowing the change in wind direction late in the day. What will happen is the wind will start coming out of the northwest in the morning and then pick up out of the south. Headlines Wednesday, 40-mile-per-hour gust. Temperatures in the 50s and then rain to snow Wednesday night into Thursday. The rest of your 7-day forecast. Christmas happens to be the coldest day in the forecast at 22. We bounce back into the 30s and climb close to 40 by next week. A lot of variety there. Cold though Friday.
All right, thanks Kevin for that. Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. One Midwest toy maker is using some of the pain of 2020 as inspiration to fuel his business. Scripps reporter Usher Qureshi visited the workshop where the so-called garbage art is created.
Nobody else is going to think this is cool except me.
Dan Polydoros' home is a shrine to toys. Clearly you love toys, right?
Yes. Yeah. More so than people. This is one of my other favorites, all-time favorite toys. Just so classic.
But for the avid toy collector, it wasn't enough just to collect.
I have parts.
A decade ago, he decided to create.
Upon parts, broken up into category. We got legs here, heads behind me.
Death by Toys was born out of that need, but his repurposed action figures and throwback novelties aren't just toys. They're often imbued with scathing social commentary.
I like a good jab at a fragile male ego as much as I love just a forklift driver who looks sexy or something like that.
Everything is painstakingly made by hand. Nothing is mass-produced, which means small batches or even one-of-a-kind creations. Items like the limited edition Karen figure for $125, Manager sold separately, or the $20 packaged Air sold as 100% genuine thoughts and prayers.
New resources, but we don't.
Last month, after a fly landed on Mike Pence's head during the vice presidential debate, Polydoros offered up 50 Mike Pence fly toys. They sold out almost immediately.
We're just all the worst, and we all were like, that fly's the hero we needed.
I'm so excited, I almost dropped it.
In 2016, horror filmmaker Eli Roth gifted one of Polydoros' Maniac-inspired bloody scalps to writer Stephen King.
Jesse Eisenberg's action figure.
His toy-making handiwork has even been featured on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
I will say the generally positive response to the garbage that I make has been surprising and has been a pleasure and a nice little treat.
But Polydoros says it's not mass appeal he's interested in, and he knows his edgy brand of art may not be for everyone.
The truth is, anything that has a point of view will have someone that doesn't like that, so that's just the deal.
Still, in a year like 2020, where his best-selling items include the coronavirus and a garbage fire, Polydoros says custom collectibles may just be the brand of humor we all need right now.
Someone who might have, at the beginning of the year, been like, no thank you, but now after a year of living alone and growing a beard down to here, we're all kind of pushed to the edge a little bit. So I think that kind of stuff speaks to all of us right now.
Reporting from Niles, Illinois, I'm Usher Qureshi.
A top honor for 3 Colts players, center Ryan Kelly, linebacker Darius Leonard, and offensive lineman Quentin Nelson have been named to the Pro Bowl. It is the 2nd Pro Bowl for Kelly and Leonard and the 3rd for Nelson. Congratulations to them. That announcement comes as the Colts prepare to take on one of the top teams in the AFC. They play the Steelers on the road on Sunday. WRTV's Brad Brown reports the matchup comes after another close win against a division rival.
It is neither coincidence nor accident that the Colts defense made another game-saving play to close out Sunday's win against the Texans.
You got to believe it. That's your whole mindset. Even when, it's a 15-play drive. When we get down there, Flu's screaming in my ear, keep fighting. And I'm telling them guys, okay, somebody step up, make a play. You got to want to make a play. And that's the mindset. They don't get in the box. Somebody step up.
That unit has been stepping up all season. Darius Leonard's last-minute punch-out took away Houston's last chance. DeForest Buckner was a beast all day Sunday. 3 sacks, 3 other quarterback hits.
I don't get too high too low, especially when we're not playing very well.
I don't get too low just because I have the confidence in the guys and someone's going to make a big play. And, that's why I always try to remind the guys to, just stay calm because it's coming.
It seems like every game has had a different receiver star for the Colts. Yesterday it was Zach Pascal's turn. A first-quarter touchdown catch had the offense clicking, and his fourth-quarter dive for the pylon might be the most important score of the season so far.
Every play, I'm just going hard and just continue to try to be aggressive and play the how I play, I